World of Assassination is finally getting a PSVR2 release this March 27th, and you have the chance to save big before its release by squeezing 60% off of the entire trilogy. After playing through the PSVR1 version using the DualShock controller, I am thrilled to experience dual-wielding the PSVR2 Sense controllers, feeling the next-gen haptics while moving around in full room-scale VR with that next-gen immersion in 4K HDR glory. This bundle is packed with content featuring 3 full-fledged flat-screen games with an average of 24 hours to complete the main story and around 208 hours for the completionist in you, while some have claimed to spend over 1,000 hours playing this incredible trilogy. And if you want to get even more content to keep you busy, you can get the Hitman World of Assassination Deluxe Pack, which is currently 30% off to unlock the list of content featured on screen. And if you want even more content,
the agency has been contracted to eliminate 6 individuals guilty of committing brutal war crimes during the siege of Sarajevo.
The Sarajevo 6 campaign pack is currently 30% off. And with this pack, you'll take on 6 bonus contracts that tell a self-contained side story that revolves around former members of a paramilitary unit called Cicada. Each target is lethal, observant, and highly trained, but nothing Agent 47 can't handle. And as you're seeing here, this will give you access to the following missions in Hitman World of Assassination. Awesome. But just to be clear, for everyone out there, they did have Hitman 1, 2, and 3 as separate individual games where now they've amalgamated all 3 and call it Hitman World of Assassination. Currently, we don't have 100% confirmation as to what everything is available in VR. However, I do have to say, shout out to Amiga VR here, catching up on the Twitter account, and they have announced that either most or all of the contracts will be available on PSVR2. That the full main campaign absolutely is. Again, the game is available. It's not pre-ordered. You can buy the game right now, flat screen and for PSVR1, but you cannot play that PSVR2 version until March 27th currently, and you're gonna have to pay that upgrade fee of like 10 American. But I have to say, as a gamer, man, I'm totally more than happy to wait to make sure that this game is completely polished, and I do think most of you guys are with me on that one versus half-baked and then waiting for more patches later. And just speaking to that, everyone that's played all of the other platforms, apparently this game did not do well. I personally played this on PSVR1 using that DualShock controller, and it worked beautifully, but again, I wasn't using individual controllers. Just to be clear, do not play this on PSVR1, even for a little bit. Wait the few months to play this in its absolute awesome package. Red Matter 2 is an award-winning immersive puzzle adventure, and it's 45% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 50% off total. Over 1,800 people have rated this 4.83 out of 5 stars, with 97% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. That's got to be one of the best ratings on the PlayStation Store. Quite simply, this game has blown me away technically speaking, and has set the bar for what I expect a PSVR2 game can look and play like. And I am happy to report I've just completed it days ago, and every moment in Red Matter 2 is utterly jaw-dropping. Just as a heads up, the story does kick off right after Red Matter 1, and I highly recommend you play that one first. And even though this trailer does show some action sequences, it's really about 5% of the game, and a few have commented in the past that they felt bored playing it. So I do have to manage expectations here. Personally, I had a blast with this entire game and have to remind everyone that this really is an environmental puzzle-based game. So I don't even want to tell you anything about the story. It did make a lot of sense to me, part 1, and now it's making a lot more sense as I'm playing just the first hour of the game. I cannot get over just walking around ever so slowly using my full body to turn in room scale VR, and everything just feels absolutely smooth and seamless.
Like movement based on controller. Yes, this is what you do want for room scale VR. Otherwise, if you go by head, when you're moving forward and you turn your head, all of a sudden your guy's going to walk that way. It's not realistic. You want it on controller for every game. And just to point this out as a room scale walking example, if I move forward and keep my arms still straight, that's how I can still move forward and look around. The moment I turn my arm with my head while pressing forward, that's what's turning me. It just feels like a next-gen experience, and you don't want to go back after that. Not using a right stick to turn at all. We don't do that in real life, you know what I'm saying? It's just natural to walk and look around. Wow. That's the hardest thing, guys. You really can't show people what this headset can do until they put it on. And again, you can talk about it all you want, but even myself, who's owned this for almost 2 years now, I still get blown away. Oh my goodness. Wow. Holy shit.
Epsilon, come in. Get out of there ASAP. Now. Run!
Red Matter has been heavily upgraded for the PSVR 2 and it's currently 45% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 50% off total. Over 1,300 people have rated this 4.67 out of 5 stars, with 94% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. As Agent Epsilon in Red Matter, you'll investigate a top-secret research project on Rhea, one of Saturn's moons, decipher hidden messages and mechanisms using an array of high-tech tools in a surreal, high-detail brutalist environment. But beware, the truth you uncover may be darker than you ever imagined. And I have to say, I did just play this again for the first time on the PSVR 2, and I felt like the entire game looked much better, and that could have been just because everything was sharp and clean at the 4K HDR OLED display here. But the room scale, me walking around freely, full 360, being able to interact with everything with no tracking issues whatsoever, the adaptive triggers, the controls, everything just felt way better. So yes, even though you might have played this on the PSVR 1 a long time ago, there is a free upgrade for Red Matter 1. I do highly recommend you put it in and play it for a couple more hours, play it all over, and then go play Red Matter 2. Hubris is an epic sci-fi adventure that no VR gamer should miss out playing, according to Without Parole, and it's 55% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 65% off total. Over 1,300 people rated this 4.36 out of 5 stars, with 86% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And as you can see here, it did win the WN Unreal Engine Best VR Game, as well as Upload VR's Best Desktop Game and Belgium Game Awards Best XR Game. But before you play Red Matter 1 and 2, I highly recommend you play Hubris first. And that's crazy to say because I was really initially impressed with Hubris after my first 3 hours, but after revisiting this a year later, I made the mistake of playing Red Matter 2 first, making me way more critical of everything in Hubris. Don't get me wrong, I do think Hubris is definitely worth getting at this awesome sale price, but I just want to manage expectations as I felt Hubris was a little too ambitious and does fall a bit short after seeing what's truly possible on the PSVR 2 now. I totally dug the theme, the sound, the sense and headset haptics, the adaptive triggers, and being able to walk around in full room scale VR felt great. Even the climbing sections were really cool, but it was those incredible swimming scenes with that underwater gun that really stood out to me. That felt and looked amazing. Now that said, unlike Red Matter, which is an environmental puzzle-based game, Hubris has a balanced mix of jumping, climbing, swimming, action, and story with some basic crafting of weapons. Most of the action scenes felt decent, but just a bit lackluster, except those underwater action scenes, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Again, being honest, after playing Pavlov for 2 years now and seeing what's possible with gunplay, I was really thrown off to see the obvious reprojection here in Hubris with the glowing pins on the pistol being immediately evident when moving around. It looks like a double vision effect when moving from side to side, and I can only hope that people don't think all PSVR 2 games look and play like this, because they absolutely don't. Even Red Matter 2 has a pistol later on in the game, but that gun looks and plays silky smooth, almost like next gen compared to this, and that's something to say because Hubris does look really good. Ultimately, it took me about 8 hours to complete, and I do recognize I was spoiled by just coming off Red Matter, and I wish I played this first, but I can highly recommend this at its cheapest sale price ever, as the game was generally enjoyable throughout the entire experience. Now, if you're still unsure whether or not this game is for you, you can get the free trial by logging onto the PlayStation Store website or directly on the PlayStation app. Step into a time machine and travel back to 1993 for an all-new immersive experience oozing with retro-fueled gaming nostalgia in Arcade Paradise VR. And it's 45% off! 250 people have rated this 4.47 out of 5 stars, with 87% of the audience scoring this 4 or 5 out of 5. In this game, you play as Ashley, who's a rebel teenager going against her father's wishes to continue the family business. Get hands-on, managing the fully gamified day-to-day tasks from manually picking up gum, doing the laundry, to throwing out the trash in a basketball-style minigame. That's cool, if the physics are there. Then take your hard-earned money from completing these tasks to unlock your real objective, buying more arcade units. And yes, the whole premise right away instantly grabs me. It does claim to feature 12 fully realized VR cabinets alongside 27 traditionally controlled games from the original release. Yeah, apparently there's 39 cabinets you can purchase in-game. And what's uniquely cool is that it says each cabinet features its own gameplay, stories, missions, and high scores to set with competition online leaderboards. From full RPG campaigns, beat-em-ups, and physical sports games, all inspired by 3 decades of gaming. And then only a few weeks ago, the developers just announced 2 new VR cabinets for free in their latest update. The first one is called Cyber Drums, which looks like a cheesy Drums Rock ripoff, which is actually a ripoff of Rock Band. But if the gameplay is fun and the songs are good and everything works, then that is super cool that they included it, as it totally looks appropriate for its time. And the second one I'm showing you here is Super Woodgal Jr. Ultra X Hyper Deluxe, but that title totally reminds me of all the many versions of Street Fighter back in the day. And in this game, you're literally a lumberjill simply whacking either the left or right side of the arcade cabinet with those padded mallets trying to get the fastest high score possible. That said, the game has been on sale a few times now, and one of our community members, Bob, has been kind enough to share his experience in detail for someone who owns both versions of the game. And he says that you cannot use your save file from the flat screen version of Arcade Paradise and carry it over to the VR version. So gotta hammer that in, guys. These are two separate games that do not use the same save file. So thanks, Bob, for the heads up on that. I really appreciate it. I much appreciate Mystery D piping in and letting us know that Arcade Paradise VR still has many bugs, and that they just completed the game with many issues still persisting, such as daily tasks that can't be completed being the worst offender. Yeah, that totally sucks to hear because everyone is truly happy with the flat version, but disappointed with that VR funkiness still happening. So yes, please, anybody in the comment section, if you own the game and you played it just in the last few days, please let us know whether or not those issues still persist. Relive the 80s in this fast-paced first-person arcade motorcycle shooter in Runner, and it's 25% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 25% more, making it 50% off total. 275 people have rated this 4.19 out of 5 stars, with 80% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. If you're into the arcade games, yes, you will love this. If you're not into the classic old school arcade shooters, no, I don't think this is going to do anything for you, as you are going through these stages and you're constantly just shooting enemies. Again, classic arcade action. And because this game has you on a bike, I had to take it to the next level. I ended up getting my workout bench, bringing it in the room, and then I was able to lay my chest forward like this with my hands leaning out, and I was able to actually feel like I was on a motorcycle. No vibration, nothing like that, but to be able to lean forward virtually. Amazing, honestly, it really did help with the immersion. The game does tout to have freeform 360-degree VR shooting, which is absolutely true, and you are controlling that bike. However, you are never going to crash your bike into the wall, but you are having to dodge all these vehicles or go underneath them in order to get these bonuses at the same time while shooting. So incredible. The gameplay itself is so crisp and so smooth, yet so basic, if that makes sense. It does look like old visuals, but super clean, so there's nothing muddy about it, and it totally works at the blistering speeds that you're going at. So, again, I'm all about the gameplay more than anything, and this totally nails it. And after beating the game, there are unlockable bikes, but they're not easy to get. You do have to do a specific thing within a specific stage. We'll get to that in my review when I do it. But don't worry, because as you're playing the game, you will get traditional power-ups that just hit the road after you kill an enemy, or a health power-up. It's just classic stuff. And then all of a sudden your guns change in your hand or actually on the motorcycle itself, going from, laser to machine guns. So awesome. The haptics, the adaptive triggers, the headset haptics, all there. And then you have this energy saber, which you're using to actually deflect incoming projectiles, and I gotta say, that is not easy to do. I had to do it in a specific stage, not getting to it. And then they do include this rush mode that you slow down time completely, and you're supposed to chain together all these combos to rank up your score there. But just again, speaking to this, as I'm playing the game, I never thought to put the game in rush mode, and all you do is grab both guns at the same time out of your holsters on the bike, and it goes into rush mode when you have the energy already accumulated to do so. And these 7 procedurally generated levels, they're actually quite long. It's not like a minute each. I felt like as I'm going through them, okay, are we done yet? My hands were getting exhausted, sweating from firing so much. That's not a bad thing. There's a lot of content to the game for sure. And then you have these enormous boss fights at the end of the stages, which is amazing. Again, they did such a great job. I can't believe I paid $10 to play this game. That's what I'm getting at here, guys. Easily, hands down, the game is worth $20 full price. No problem there. And to think I had like 2 full days of playing this, and I mean full days. The last couple stages I had to do over and over. This is classic arcade stuff where you will have to get good at what you're doing. So that again was a welcome treat for me to experience something very challenging. What I didn't expect, because it's usually only included in like deluxe editions or any sort of extra edition, they come with this soundtrack synthesizer app that literally you just turn on, and it's old school 80s, 90s. If you remember all those visual effects on a black screen, they look trippy as fuck basically, but hearing every little bass beat, every sound, it actually vibrates to your DualSense controller. Get this. Did not expect it whatsoever. I know the DualSense has a speaker on the actual controller. That doesn't blow me away. In this app, you can feel the bass in the controller perfectly. And then all of a sudden I put the actual controller to my ear and I can hear the music inside the controller, not coming out of the actual speaker. I was like, it's as if I hear the party on the inside of the controller. So bizarre. So again, not expecting anything, paid 10 bucks for the game, loved the game, and then afterwards I'm checking out the extra app that they include. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. Old school 80s synthesizer. I end up spending an hour listening to all the music, just feeling them on my controller, totally tripping out of my mind. And then I check out this preamble app that also is included with the game, which is a visual novel. It's supposed to speak about the storyline in between your actual stages and what you're running from and what's going on. To be honest with you guys, I watched it for 45 minutes. There was a couple choices you can make, and then if you make the wrong choice, it's like game over, and then you had to start back over from the beginning of that chapter. It didn't pull me in, just being honest, so it wasn't worth it for me to go back and check it out. But some of you guys might be out there going, yeah, that's really cool. But the amount of content and replayability and awesomeness, that's just a complete package for 10 bucks. You do need to run out and get this immediately. But if you want the real driving simulator, then you need to know Gran Turismo 7 25th Anniversary Digital Deluxe Edition cranks the immersion full throttle in the most breathtaking racing experience, and it's 45% off right now. Over 32,600 people have rated this 4.37 out of 5 stars, with 84% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And with this Digital Deluxe Edition, you are getting the PS4 and PS5 versions of the game, along with 1,500,000 credits. And to put that in perspective, 2 million credits is like $27 Canadian on the PlayStation Store, which is almost half the price of this game at this awesome sale price. And you're also getting the special Toyota GR Yaris, as you're seeing right here. I do have a link in the description featuring that video that you're seeing on here to the actual YouTube channel that is showing this. As well, you're also getting 30 PlayStation Network avatars and the official soundtrack for Gran Turismo 7. And normally I do only promote the standard edition. However, at this 45% off, I do think this is worth getting if you don't own this already. And just as a heads up, if you already own the PS4 version, you can upgrade to the PS5 version for around 10 bucks American with that PSVR2 free upgrade. What's really cool is that you can use your DualSense controller playing Gran Turismo while you're charging your PSVR Sense controllers, playing with the traditional classic setup or motion controls where you can steer it just like a racing wheel. And don't forget the PS5 adaptive triggers and unique sense haptics totally enhance the entire game, but I highly recommend getting at least a decent force feedback racing wheel, as it really is absolutely mind-blowing. I've never played anything at the arcades that felt even close to this force feedback wheel, and couple that with the PSVR2 4K HDR OLED display along with the headset haptics, and you're totally living the dream here. Specifically, I'm currently using the Logitech G29 from like 6 years ago, and I'm still really happy with it. But I really do want to upgrade to a direct drive wheel, as they provide the most precise, most realistic next-gen racing experience. So I do have to recommend everyone looking into that and maybe spending the extra couple $100 if you can afford it. And you're seeing that the whole direct drive thing allows you to change up the steering wheel directly to that motorized base, allowing you to essentially switch out any style of wheel. But I personally want to get the Logitech DD Pro, as it touts to have the actual direct drive steering with a life-sized steering wheel, unlike all the other ones I'm seeing here on the market. Now, if you really want to feel everything without connecting directly to the Matrix, you can clamp that racing wheel onto the yaw motion simulator, and as you can see right here, the sense of speed and braking would be perfectly translated in real life, like having an amusement park in your living room. Legit. Of course, quality does cost money, and this thing is at least a couple thousand US, but I do want to show you guys what's currently possible now at home, especially with the PSVR2 setup here. And for those of you like me who were able to get the PS5 Pro, I want to give a shout out to Cussman in the comments. Last time GT7 was on sale, he had explained in excellent detail on how to set up the video output settings to eliminate the reprojection in GT7. This is at the cost of the HUD element showing more wonkiness, which, to be honest, I shut the HUD off completely, so it's perfect for me. Thanks so much, Cussman, for sharing that info. That's truly game-changing stuff. Very much appreciated. And everyone, please check out Cussman's YouTube channel for many other gameplay demonstrations that you can't find anywhere else. Awesome. And for those of you that are still unsure whether or not Gran Turismo 7 is for you, as Cussman mentions here, you can check out My First Gran Turismo on the PlayStation Store for free right now. And yes, this is PlayStation VR2 compatible. And I gotta say, I didn't realize how much content the free trial offers here. This is a beginner-friendly introduction to the world of racing, crafted to bring the most excitement of Gran Turismo to new players. It captures the essence of those unforgettable first laps in a streamlined, approachable experience. Players can unlock achievements by completing a variety of fun and engaging challenges that introduce essential racing techniques such as cornering, braking, and acceleration. As you progress at each level, you will encounter increasingly intricate tracks and vehicles, each designed to build confidence and refine your driving skills from basic to more advanced techniques, all in pursuit of mastering the craft of racing. Set record times across an array of challenges including 3 race events, time trials, and license tests. Feel the exhilaration of driving 18 unique cars through a variety of scenarios that sharpen your racing craft on 3 iconic Gran Turismo circuits: Kyoto Driving Park, Deep Forest Raceway, and Trial Mountain Circuit. Either way, this is a true system seller, and you'll always have something to play for years to come, whether in single player mode, campaign, against Sophie the super sophisticated AI, and of course online multiplayer with its online worldwide tournaments.
You gotta bleed for this if you want to be the best. Let's find out what you're made of.
Step into the ring and immerse yourself in the pulse-pounding excitement of cinematic boxing with Creed Rise to Glory Championship Edition, and it's 45% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 55% off total. Over 1,300 people have rated this 3.86 out of 5 stars, with 71% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And I gotta say, from my experience here, for me on the PSVR 1, it was incredible to play anything like that, to be able to stand on the spot, duck, dodge, weave, punch, uppercut, and hit with accuracy. Actually get a full-fledged workout just being in the gym, not even boxing somebody online. The one takeaway I really disliked about the first one is you did have to use your hands like a speed bag to go forward and to go backwards. And I understand you didn't have any joysticks on the PSVR 1 to do that, so it was intuitive at the time. The fact that I can use these joysticks now moving backwards and still blocking and throwing punches, man, that sounds amazing. And to think this is 4K HDR OLED display, there is a substantial upgrade to this game. Speaking of which, you can pay the upgrade fee if you do own this on the PSVR 1, and I do think it's a little cheaper than the actual sale price here. And for those of you that didn't know what this game was about, you literally are playing Creed from the movies and you're training with Rocky Balboa, literally having these training exercises in the gym, legit awesome exercises, and then based on your performance on your training, you'll have more stamina going into your next boxing fight. So it's not just sake of doing these practice runs, it's forcing you to do really well in your practice so you're actually better in your boxing match altogether, which is an awesome mechanic. Seriously, very cool. And it tires you out before you go to face the character next time, so it's crazy. It gets you to actually slow down. And unlike the PSVR 1, again, this does have cross-platform support, which is integral to, to have somebody to fight online. That was one of the big problems on PSVR 1. In order for me to get that platinum, I needed to beat somebody online, and it ended up being my wife. I will never forget, she was Mr. T, and she came at me like speed bag motion, standing there. It was the weirdest thing to see the avatar do this. I was crying, laughing on the ground. I couldn't throw punches because I literally was weak, feeble on the ground. I'm trying to get my platinum, and she was beating the crap out of me. I'm like, no, you have to let me win. Just let me get my platinum. Crazy. So yeah, I definitely need to have a rematch with her on the PSVR 2. So again, this does have the story mode, but it is claiming to have an expanded story inspired by Creed 3. So very cool. Of course, you can do the free play mode where you can just face whoever you want, wherever you want for fun. Fitness options where you crush personal health goals to set time and calorie targets, and then that cross-platform player versus player. Amazing. Even though the score is showing 3.88, I personally feel it's minimum of 4. I do think everyone who's even interested in boxing, you do need to get this game. It was awesome on PSVR 1. To know it's been totally upgraded for PSVR 2 enhanced, it's got to be a win for sure. Our beloved hero Quill's epic adventure is now complete on the PS5 in Moss and Moss 2 bundle, and it's currently 20% off. Even though it says almost 10,000 people have rated this bundle, that's the actual rating for Moss, whereas Moss 2 scored even better, but with only 1,600 people rating it 4.8 out of 5 stars. And again, just speaking to this, back in the day when VR was brand new, this was incredible. You being able to move around in that full beautiful world and then manipulate objects to help her jump on and stuff was just so neat. Now what's interesting, unlike playing like a pixel ripped on PSVR 2 after playing on PSVR 1, I felt like Moss wasn't that much more enhanced than what I remembered on PSVR 1, but what I was really excited to do was walk around in room scale and have the angle that I wanted at any time to play, and it didn't work. I ended up playing the whole game through, and all the footage I captured was just too janky from a camera angle perspective that I had to keep going back and sitting down to play. But yeah, that's my rant. That's literally it. The game played just like it did on PSVR 1. If you're playing seated, everything works fine.
There's no turning back now. Or so the saying goes.
I do own this game but haven't played it yet, so I can't speak to this from personal experience, but from what I'm hearing everywhere, the sequel does live up to the original and more. Quill is back and better than ever, but this time she's being hunted by those who seek to unmake this world and are desperate for the glass she holds, and they'll stop at nothing to claw it from her grasp. You must help Quill venture deep inside the Hex Castle of the Arcane, where dangerous terrain, challenging puzzles, and enemies twisted in fire and steel await. The journey will be trying, filled with triumph and heartbreak alike, but new allies, old friends, and the very nature of the castle itself can offer help along the way. Yet in the end, it is only you alone who can lift Quill up to save this world and together rise to legend.
Matrix. That's cool. That's totally, yeah, easier in there. That's awesome.
And the next most awesome arcade experience I can highly recommend at full price is Crisis Brigade 2 Reloaded, and it's 30% off right now. And just under 600 people scored this 4.19 out of 5 stars, with 80% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. And I can totally speak to this. I do think not everyone will enjoy this game because you do have to stand up the entire time and physically crouch around your environment. And that's what I love about this game, is it actually has you taking cover at all times, and you don't use a left stick to move anywhere or right stick to turn around. So immersively awesome, it really is. And unlike a lot of games out there, it does not give you the option to include a crouch button, which I love. I personally think that's what makes this game amazing, is you actually having to stand and take cover physically at all times. Amazing, it really is. There are multiple levels to go through with multiple scenes in each level, and then after you go through those 3 campaign levels, there's like this time attack mode with 3 other levels in there, and they're all different. I truly cannot recommend this game enough, especially whenever it goes on sale. So I can already recommend this at full price. I think it's an absolute blast, but definitely want to say you do need to get this on sale for sure.
But to see these guys add the manual reload into their game, an existing game from years ago, still play this smooth online, tracking's beautiful, I can move my entire body and it tracks me beautifully. I wish I could physically crouch and prone, but whatever. You guys can sit on your couch and still play, or stand up. It does have what a lot of everybody wants. This is incredible.
If you're looking for the fastest, most accessible online multiplayer first-person shooter on PSVR2, ALVO is currently 50% off. With over 800 people rating this, it scored 3.8 out of 5 stars, with 68% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, while 16% gave this 1 star. I did play the shit out of this on the PSVR1. I did have the aim controllers, 2 of them, so I had a blast back in the day. I did pay that upgrade fee, and it is evidently revised with that 4K HDR graphics. The controls are completely revamped, and I mean completely. And unlike any other first-person shooter, this actually has set the bar when it comes to all the options you can choose between. If you prefer that Firewall Ultra classic, just hitting buttons to reload, you can play that way. Or you can now detach your 2 arms and have individual arms like I love, manual reload, all that stuff. So I absolutely love and totally recommend anyone who loves the online first-person shooters. ALVO is an excellent game. It's just way more fast-paced than a Pavlov or a Firewall Ultra, being the slowest, I want to say. And unlike the Pavlovs or the Firewall Ultras, in this game you can jump, you can slide, and you can sprint around corners really fast. And on the PSVR2, it is a massive difference when it comes to the frame rate even. So everything about it, it's not just, you can play the same game revised on the PSVR2 using the new controllers. No, they totally adapted it to the PSVR2 tech. The one negative that I'm hearing online, I personally have not experienced this, is that I'm hearing there's not a lot of people playing this game anymore. However, every time I go to play, I swear to you, just within a few minutes, maybe 1 or 2 rounds against the computer, they have these bots that fill it in, but then people start flooding in. So for me, I always have somebody online to play against. Literally, I love the deathmatch, team deathmatch stuff. And at that price, at $13.50, if you've never owned this and you're looking for that Call of Duty online first-person shooter with progression, meaning that every time you play, you're getting experience points, and with those experience points, you unlock new attachments, new guns, new things. Essentially, this game has it all. So I really got to give it to the developers, man. They've been totally working with this game for a long time, enhancing it, making it awesome for PSVR2, and I think everyone should at least check this out. Transport yourself to another realm and help this unique ecosystem in Paper Beast Enhanced Edition, and it's currently 60% off. 2,600 people have rated this 4.26 out of 5 stars, with 80% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And from personal experience on the PSVR1, what I loved about this is you're thrown into this world, not given any real instruction, and then you just have to play around and figure out your environment, and that's the puzzle. It's just figuring stuff out when you're thrown into the world. And this world is really messed up, really bizarre. As you're seeing here, you can discover these breathtaking landscapes. You're supposed to bond with majestic and intelligent creatures, guide them, confront dangers, and manipulate the environment. And unlike that PSVR1 version, in the PS5, you are getting smooth locomotion, so no more teleport with that. Again, with that 4K HDR OLED display, every game looks incredible on the PSVR2, and this cartoon is going to do that justice for sure. This now includes detailed textures and high resolution shadows, along with light shaft effects, extremely precise sand and water physics, and it includes a sandbox mode where the terrain is more expansive with an increased number of creatures and trees that become even more stunning over time. Interesting. You can play the game without your VR headset. I don't know why you would again. And being thrown into this mysterious world, quite literally, you're supposed to help this unique ecosystem and experience an extraordinary adventure. Somewhere in the depths of big data, a new world has been born. A surreal land where life is just as rich and varied as our own Earth. And that's the beauty of it. I just was literally thrown into this game, and you have to figure out what to do with what you see in front of you.
Oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. That looks great. That's so cool.
Become the ultimate chef as you take control of a highly polished, realistic kitchen with lifelike ingredients in Cooking Simulator VR, and it's 30% off. Just over 200 people have rated this 4.09 out of 5 stars, with 78% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 14% did give this 1 star. I actually did play this game all the way through. I ended up platining the game, and I only scratched the surface of this entire game. What I mean by that is this game features over 80 unique recipes, and I probably only had 5 to 10 total unlocked. I actually was expecting more of a job simulator type game, which I'm not into. I was blown away that this was more of an actual cooking simulator where I had a budget that I had to buy certain ingredients to make my meals and then do it within a specific amount of time, but every task was actually doing the cooking simulation. From cutting French fries, and each fry is an individual size with an individual weight. You can literally see how well you're cutting the French fries, and you will be graded for your actual skills at the end when you plate the food. Everything from pouring soup, seeing how much liquid is in the bowl, to how much of each ingredient is in the actual soup, the temperature of the soup, the temperature of the cooking. You can literally look down at the actual steak as it's cooking and see it cooking. If you make a mess on the floor, you can literally wipe up the mess off the floor. When you leave your equipment, pots and pans and plates everywhere, if you go to play again, everything is still where you left it. You have to clean up after you're done. Aside from doing the dishes, you literally set yourself up so all of your workstations are ready to go. You can actually ruin your stove by spilling shit all over everything, and then that's going to impede your process that you're trying to cook, and then all of a sudden you got to repair your stove. So cool, guys. Honestly, wasn't expecting any of this stuff. And then the actual meal prep, I felt like I was rushing around doing these tasks on a timer and then using actual virtual timers with my hand, doing 2 tasks at once as I'm trying to deep fry French fries, as I'm trying to fry a steak on the pan in the other area here. Just amazing. I can actually recommend this game at full price, so seeing at sale, I do want to say yes. I do think you'll have a blast playing Cooking Simulator VR for sure. Step into the heart of a supernatural horror with The Exorcist Legion VR, and it's 40% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Experience the bone-chilling series like never before with PSVR2's advanced haptics, intensifying each terrifying encounter. I did play this on the PSVR1 all the way through, and I think it was a collection of 5 episodes at the time, and I waited until they were all complete, bought them all in one bundle on sale, I think back then, whereas now they're just bundling it all into one, thankfully, and then calling it this, with the extra PSVR2 Sense haptics and stuff. Being honest, after playing it all the way through on part 1, yeah, it was okay, but not Madison. When I say this, guys, Madison is what I expected from something like this with the theme of The Exorcist. Blast yourself to the past with a modern twist on an arcade classic in Masternoid, and it's 40% off. Just under 200 people have rated this 4.06 out of 5 stars, with 72% of the audience giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. If you've ever played Arkanoid back in the day, that's that brick smashing game where you're moving that bar left and right and that ball's bouncing around. This is that in VR, except I think you're using a gun to fire this off at the same time. In the actual description, it does talk about skillfully juggling and controlling multiple ultrasonic balls with great finesse and precision. Prepare for an explosive adventure as you navigate through 50 meticulously designed voxel levels. Prove your worth as an arcade legend, ascending the leaderboards and leaving your mark on Masternoid's vibrant universe. Lose yourself in the captivating melodies of an adaptive, original soundtrack, perfectly tuned to harmonize with your every move. Is that like Tetris Effect? I wonder. Whether you prefer a seated or standing position, Masternoid offers an accessible and engaging gameplay experience. Grab a single controller and get ready to blast some voxels. And I do love on the description they speak to this saying it's native 4K resolution with 120 Hz without reprojection and advanced haptic feedback. Prepare yourself for the ultimate showdown in the world of rhythm boxing in Box to the Beat VR, and it's 35% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off total. Over 380 people have rated this 3.87 out of 5 stars, with 67% scoring this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 17% gave this 1 star. And I think this game is literally what it says, where you'll be boxing to the beat, but apparently you can collaborate with players worldwide to take on epic bosses with awesome loot. The game has power-ups that change the way you play while providing an extra level of challenge. And with that, they do actually offer some more DLC than the last time this was on sale. However, none of the DLC is on sale. But there are 2 free DLC packs you can currently get. The first one being the Electro Swing pack that includes 10 electrifying electro swing tracks that's filled with vintage vibes and a modern twist. And the second free DLC is the K-pop pack that includes 10 sensational K-pop tracks. And if you're unsure whether or not this game is for you, as I really don't know what else to say about this other than what you're seeing here on the trailer, you can get the Box to the Beat VR demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. If you love music-based rhythm games and you're into the Rock Band or Guitar Hero, you're going to want to check out Drums Rock Complete Music Edition, because it's 35% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 40% off. With just over 1,100 people rating it 4.25 out of 5 stars, 80% of the audience gave it 4 or 5 out of 5. And this does include Drums Rock, which features 68 plus songs. And with this game, I want to position again like a rock band, more of an arcade type music rhythm-based experience. This one does actually have a campaign with up to 4 hours of play, and then there are like 2 bosses in there, as well as so much DLC that's been released since the launch of the game. Beginning with the Undertale song, Hopes and Dreams, as well as Megalovania. As well, you're getting the exclusive Undertale drumsticks, Undertale hands, Undertale scene, Undertale drums. But I feel the most important feature you're getting here is unlocking the exclusive extreme difficulty. And this is for all songs, like every song released for Drums Rock. The next music pack, this is featuring The Offspring. And with this, you're getting You're Gonna Go Far Kid by The Offspring, In the Meantime by Spacehog, My Own Worst Enemy by Lit, and Shine by Collective Soul. The other legendary music volume pack is Green Day, American Idiot by Green Day, Holiday by Green Day, The American Dream Is Killing Me by Green Day, I'm Gonna Be 500 Miles by The Proclaimers, and Stricken by Disturbed. The next one is the Simple Plan music pack, and in that you're getting Welcome to My Life, Shut Up, Crazy, and Time to Say Goodbye. The Power Metal music pack includes Hearts on Fire by Hammerfall, King for a Day by Battle Beast, Blood of the Elves by Blind Guardian, When Angels Kill by Fifth Angel, Higher by Northtail, and Twilight Force by Twilight Force. Pantera and Disturbed music pack, Down with the Sickness by Disturbed, 10,000 Fists by Disturbed, Walk by Pantera, and 5 Minutes Alone by Pantera. And you're also getting the latest Smashfest music pack, which includes Silver Tongue by Alter Bridge, Army of the Night by Powerwolf, Pisces by Ginger, Keelhauled by Ailstorm, Hood's Force by Gloryhammer, While Love Died by Northward, Stardust by Delane, Dost Elft Gadot, I'm sorry for butchering that, somebody I cannot pronounce, Master of the Universe by Angus Mix6. That ought to keep you busy for a while, I would think. And if you're still unsure whether or not this game is for you, you should totally check out the Drums Rock demo on the PlayStation Store itself. Now, if you already own Drums Rock and just want some of the DLC that's on sale, you can get the Power Metal music pack at 25% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 35% off total. Very Bad Dreams is an intense and demanding experience that will test your nerves, and it's 50% off right now. That said, if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 25% more, making it 75% off total. Awesome. 354 people have rated this 3.48 out of 5 stars, with 40% giving this 5 out of 5, and the rest completely mixed here. What's interesting is that I'm seeing another one on sale called Dean's Dream Edition, which is currently 50% off, and I'm assuming it's the base game plus the Dean's Dream DLC, because I do know they're offering the Anniversary Edition that features that same DLC along with the soundtrack mode. So unfortunately, I cannot speak to this from personal experience. I am waiting to actually play this game myself. I do think some of those negative reviews had to do with some bugs or glitches earlier on. I don't know if they've been resolved since. If anyone can speak to that in the comment section, that would be great. But I do totally want to experience this for myself. The PlayStation Store description says, forget everything you thought you knew about horror games. And I cannot. After playing Madison, I really can't. Because Very Bad Dreams transcends the boundaries of the gaming experience. It claims that your survival depends on real actions where you'll need to react instinctively to survive this scary world. That does sound very cool. It actually says, feel the impacts of your strike force. Feel vibrations in your head when you're hit by an enemy or your heart races. Run and jump using your real gestures. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. If I have to use my arms to actually move, a lot of games used to do that in VR. You know, I'm over that. I actually don't like that mechanic. Hold your head with both hands so as not to become mad. That is really neat. You know, very cool implementation there. So many new gameplay elements that will give you the impression of never doing the same thing. Whether you have a gun, a bat, or a knife, the best thing to do is flee and not fall into madness. I dig that.
Fast one.
You can now become a pro goaltender and aim for the best clean sheet in history by shutting out real-life footballers in CleanSheet Football, and it's 20% off. 183 people have rated this 3.97 out of 5 stars, with 75% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 18% gave this 1 star. Now that said, they do offer additional exercises along with gloves and some other stuff as separate DLC, as well as an Ultimate Edition, but they're not on sale right now.
This is your last run.
Quite simply, become a pro goalkeeper using the best VR soccer game on PSVR2. Aim for the best clean sheet in history by shutting out real-life footballers in this thrilling VR sports app. You can improve your soccer skills in these ways. Play quickfire mode, where you block thousands of high-speed shots. See how you stack up in the global leaderboards, set your own weekly fitness goals, and track how many calories you've burned while aiming for the top score. Awesome. In set play mode, you can challenge yourself against shots recreated from real-life goals. You can also enhance your skills by unlocking additional packs for practicing headers, volleys, free kicks, corners, or even nail-biting penalty saves. And look no further than Clean Sheet's cutting-edge locker room. Here you can access detailed performance feedback, unlock a treasure trove of new gear, and proudly display your hard-earned trophies. Sounds like an absolute blast if you always wanted to be a goaltender in soccer. Become a burglar in Thief Simulator VR Greenview Street, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. 844 people have rated it 3.3 out of 5 stars, with 43% giving this 5 stars and 30% giving this 1 star. Sneak around and rob houses all over the neighborhood while freely moving in an open world. Smash windows or use a glass cutter to open them silently. Treat yourself to a car ride. Awesome. Buy and use various thieving tools. Raise your experience level and learn new tricks. Sell your loot to various dark types online and in person. Hack stolen electronics to raise their price on the black market while hiding from the police under beds, in closets, and garbage cans. But most important, don't get caught. And just to speak to the extra attention this game is getting, there are some other packs of DLC available. These are not on sale, but you may be interested to know what else is available here. 2 of these are maps with new missions, game mechanics, loot, characters, houses, security challenges, hijacking cars, cloning keys, and more. And the third pack is all about adding more costumes and accessories, essentially. And if you're unsure whether or not this game is for you, you can get the Thief Simulator VR Prologue, which is the demo for free on the PlayStation Store right now. Featuring a fully voice-acted story to progress through, Startenders is an intergalactic bartending simulator, and it's 50% off right now. Over 110 people rated this 3.85 out of 5 stars, with 69% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. Abducted by accident and enrolled in the Startenders Bartending Academy, you'll have to shake, slice, and serve to survive until you find a way to escape. Use your skills to create delicious concoctions to serve to your alien patrons. Use wacky machines and even wackier ingredients to earn your way home. Unlock those new machines to build and strange ingredients to create your own drinks altogether. Visit colorful locations across the galaxy or hang out in the habitat. Make and name your own custom drinks for customers to buy and compete on the Intergalactic leaderboards and daily play. Right on. I've personally never played the game before, but I am seeing this other DLC or update that they've released with this new mode. I'm not sure if it's this infinite replayability or what, but this may be totally worth it at that sale price. Again, anyone in the comments section, if you own it, love it, hate it, played it, whatever, let us know what you think. And one of the scariest shows I grew up watching, the Twilight Zone, is on sale. It's 40% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. The first episode is called Character Building, and it's about a video game director discovering that workplace cruelty is a dangerous game. Terra Firma is after an environmental apocalypse. One survivor must face mysterious phantoms as he searches the city ruins for a glimmer of hope. And with the last story, Deadline Earth, the clock is ticking for a science fiction writer who finds himself captive on an insidious alien vessel. Immerse yourself into the role of a barber and a tattoo master in Shaven Stuff, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Over 200 people have rated this 3.8 out of 5 stars, with 69% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5, but 20% gave this 1 star. Express your imagination, serve clients by matching their needs using tools at your disposal, or just have raw creative fun. Want to make someone bald? Or how about creating a colorful punk lifestyle? Want to regrow hair from scratch? Yep, you can do that too, straight from a spray can. And just watching the trailer here, it does look like you're given an objective with that photo being shown there, but it doesn't say much else on the PlayStation Store description about whether or not there's a campaign, or if there's a pure sandbox mode, or if there's any online leaderboards. Anyone in the comments, if you played this, loved it, or hate it, please let us know whether or not you think we should grab this at that sale price. Now, if you're looking for a cute, fun, and relaxing game where you become a skillful groomer and a veterinarian, Pets and Stuff is currently 20% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 25% off total. Only 41 people have rated this game, but scoring it 4.71 out of 5 stars, with 93% of the audience giving it 4 or 5 out of 5. Nice. And even though I haven't played this or the other game, Shaven Stuff, Pets and Stuff does look more detailed all around, and from the PlayStation Store description, it does seem like it has a lot more content going here. On top of this, it touts to feature multiple locations with the ability to upgrade your clinic into the best of the best. Let your imagination run wild. With fully responsive and polished gameplay, make the best trims, feel the fur at the end of your fingertips, and capture the best photo shoots of your creations. The game features so many animals such as cats, dogs, raccoons, foxes, deer, and much more. Awesome Asteroids pays homage to the arcade classics, and it's 45% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 15% more, making it 60% off total. With over 100 people, it scored 3.22 out of 5 stars, but it looks to be a completely mixed bag of reviews here. Quite simply, you'll blast through waves of asteroids using lasers, rockets, and Gatling guns while trying to keep bases and other structures from taking damage. Grab shield power-ups to charge your shields, which will protect you from asteroids and mines. You'll need to take out enemy ships before they can destroy your bases while avoiding their defenses. So that is super simple. Whether or not it's fun using the HOTAS, I do believe this game was touting to have the eye tracking, so you just look and it automatically locks on to fire. But yeah, again, I'm not too sure whether or not it's fun to play. Again, anyone in the comment section that wants to speak to it, please do. Tarzan VR transports players deep into a fantastical jungle world teeming with action and excitement. And it's 40% off, but if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 45% off total. Only 24 people have rated this, giving it 2.96 out of 5 stars, and as you can see, this is another mixed bag of reviews here. Swing, swim, climb, and fight your way through dangerous enemies, predators, and challenges. Enhanced for the PlayStation VR2 experience, the environmental wonder, and unparalleled freedom as the legendary lord of the jungle. When I'm looking at this trailer every time, it does remind me of like a Quest 1 game. It doesn't look that great from what I'm seeing on screen here, so I don't know what to expect, and everything I'm reading is it's okay. I've yet to have somebody say, oh man, you really need to try this game, it's a lot of fun. So I can't recommend. I've never played this before, but anyone in the comments section, if you do own the game, you played it, love it or hate it, please let us know whether or not we should get this at the sale price. TRIPP, a new way to meditate, is 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. And 355 people rated this 2.48 out of 5 stars, with 46% of the audience giving this 1 out of 5 stars. However, I can speak to this. It is excellent for what it's designed to do. It is not a game to just sit back and trip out to visuals, looking at something like that. This is literally designed to help you breathe at timed intervals with a very soft, slow, methodic voice that guides you through each meditation. So the visuals are neat, they're neat, but they do remind me of very sharp PSVR1 quality graphics. Quite literally, this app is designed to take anywhere. It is very overwhelming to just pop in and see all the different menus going on, all the different exercises. I didn't even know where to start, what to do. And then here I'm learning that you're going to track how you feel each day as you're doing it. Very weird and unique. I did only play this for 45 minutes. Please understand this. And, I was pushing through it because I wanted to play a game not knowing no, this is forcing me to chill out. At the end of that 45 minutes, I've said this a few times and I'm always talking about it because it really did stand out to me. There was one exercise that had me humming while I was breathing. And I do know that that's an actual medical thing that's supposed to create some sort of nitrous oxide. I think that's like laughing gas or whatever in you to relieve tension or something. Not a doctor, can't speak to it, but I definitely felt that the next morning, waking up going, why do I feel very calm and relaxed and lightheaded? And, I associate that with doing this right before going to bed that night. So very weird, very cool. Totally think it will help so many of you out there who do need to force yourself to stop and breathe. Again, that timed interval thing. I was out of breath. When you have to force yourself to wait for that moment to breathe in and hold, it's crazy how it is an exercise, literally. It's so weird to say that, but I'm very grateful that they did send me the keys so I could speak to this, knowing this is meant to help you meditate. It's not a game, literally. And right when you load the game, they get you to enter in your demographics or psychographics. That way it's on a mobile app and you can take with you everywhere. So yeah, again, an exercise app essentially. Math World VR combines fun games with simple math to exercise the brain, and it's 30% off right now. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Only 33 people have rated this, giving it 2.73 out of 5 stars, with most of the audience giving this 2 or 1 out of 5 stars. Quite simply, the game touts that you're going to be learning some arithmetic while using your dexterity, your actual skill. Whether or not that's actually there, I'm not too sure. I'm seeing some activities here like basketball. That could be a lot of fun, especially solving some math problems, but I'm not too sure. Everything from axe throwing, bow and arrow, punch the plates, number slicer, plate breaker, target marksman, carnival darts, frisbee toss, mini golf, multiples paintball, slingshot. All of these look like they could be fun mini games. Again, whether or not the physics are there, anybody in the comments section, if you own the game, please let me know. I'm genuinely curious. The same developers of Math World have you step into Reading World VR, where learning to read is all about having fun, and is 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 5% more, making it 35% off total. Only 8 people have rated this game, but it scored 3 to 5 stars, with 3 people giving it 5, 1 person gave it 3, and 4 people gave it 1 or 2 stars. And unlike the Math World VR, this says that you'll learn sentence structures, spelling, syllables, and more in a fun new way, with 12 engaging mini games that are designed around sentences, comprehension, spelling, nouns, verbs, and more. You'll have a fun and immersive way to help sharpen your reading skills. Everything from sentence smash, rhyming slicer, word scramble, timeline ring toss, spelling puncher, slingshot finish the sentence, fishing for syllables, archery word bundle, word race, lily pad leap, fragment bucket toss, and syllable puncher. All of these are a bunch of mini games. Again, I personally have never played the Math World VR or the Reading World VR. They're not really grabbing me as to what I'm seeing here. The basketball in the Math World VR seems kind of cool, but everything else seems okay. If I had kids or whatever and I wanted them to learn this stuff, this might be the way to go. Anyone in the comment section that does have children and do play these games with them, is it actually fun for them to play and learn? Fight for your life and try to escape in this arcade on-rail shooter, Train Chase, and it's currently 75% off right now. Only 22 people have rated this, scoring at 3.77 out of 5 stars, with 63% giving this 4 or 5 out of 5. And quite simply, you are being chased by the enemy and have to escape. Fight their drones, turrets, and vehicles on a train through several levels and several waves. You can choose between the story or the wave mode. In story mode, you have to go through multiple level after another and defeat the enemy bosses in each level. Interesting, so there's bosses. In the wave mode, you encounter waves of enemies, and during a pause, you can buy new weapons. The key here is to use different types of weapons to deal as much damage with the least amount of bullets. You can pick between a pistol, a shotgun, a machine gun, and a grenade launcher. But don't forget to dodge their attacks during bullet time. The bullet time activates as soon as an enemy bullet gets close. Then you have the opportunity to move around if you want. Across the Valley is a friendly farm simulator with a fantastic hand-drawn art style, and it's currently 65% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 75% off total. 76 people have rated this 2.76 out of 5 stars, with 38% giving this 1 star. But 26% gave this 5 stars. On your farm, there's something to do every day. Give your plants and animals plenty of love and care. They'll reward you with a bountiful harvest, and use those profits to expand your farm. The features listed on the actual game speak to no motion sickness with the action point location system. No artificial movement is done. Even though that seems like a good bullet point, what it's saying is that you're going node to node teleportation based. You're actually snapping to specific stations of play, from what I understand. Each action point station is designed carefully to have everything you need within the reach of your hands. Again, it's promoting the whole thing being easily accessible, everything right where you are. You don't have to get up and move, none of that stuff. And then it says no button learning, where you do everything with your own hands. And that does feel natural. That is the way VR should be, truly. Literally, you can grab a shovel like you would in real life, dig a hole, sow your seed, all that stuff. With 36 quests or tasks that guide you from the basics of seeding to going on a truffle hunt with your pigs, you have infinite orders to keep you busy, even after the main game. And they're also talking about how you can upgrade your house and make it look nice and cozy. Interesting. But anybody, again, if you're into farm simulators, you may be able to speak to this in the comment section. Let other people who are into that genre know whether or not this game will speak to them. Forest Farm is a cozy, open-world fantasy farming sandbox game with RPG elements, and it's 30% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 10% more, making it 40% off total. Only 12 people have rated this 2.25 out of 5 stars, with 7 of them giving this 1 star, and the rest giving it 3, 4, or 5 stars. However, it could have to do with the theme of the game, I'm not too sure. The actual store description says that the forests are overgrown, the gardens have been abandoned. Can you bring life back to the farm? Grab your tools, grow some produce, and create your dream farm to aid the local citadel, which is growing hungry. This open world farming sandbox has you work your overgrown forest into a thriving farm. Clear the forests, grow crops, keep animals, craft fences, and more. Turn a wild landscape into your dream farmstead. Complete the quest for the citizens of the citadel to earn their respect. Select from 21 plants, vegetables, and fruit to grow from 7 different layers. Trees, fruit trees, bushes, herbaceous, ground covers, root vegetables, and vines. And of course, you can design the garden that you want, whether it's in tidy rows, many small gardens, or one large plot. Level up your tools with every use, using the shovel, axe, pickaxe, fishing rod, and bucket. Upgrade your farm by crafting or purchasing fences, and much more. Trade your fruit and vegetables at the local market to earn coins. And of course, you can use Snap, Smooth, and Teleport as your locomotion experience. So yeah, that's really all I can say about the game. Anyone in the comment section, if you own Forest Farm, please let us know your experience, whether you love it or hate it. That way we know whether or not we should get this at the sale price. Car Mechanic Simulator VR challenges players to repair, paint, tune, and drive cars in the real world, and it's 65% off. Just over 200 people rated this 2.52 out of 5 stars, with under half scoring this 1 star, and the rest completely mixed here. Become a real car mechanic in VR. Realistic work with tools and car parts. Growth and expand your repair service empire. The most detailed automobile simulation game on VR. Buy old vehicles, renovate them, and sell with profit. That is the gist of the game, and from the PlayStation Store description. From what I'm reading though, the initial first stage, the first level, it's full of bugs and glitches from what I understand. Not too sure whether or not it's a tracking issue or if it actually just doesn't work. Again, anyone in the comment section that owns the game, plays it, please let us know your experience. Otherwise, I've been telling people that this game has not been working almost in the beginning levels of the game, which is unfortunate. I do want this to be out there. Battle waves of Polygon-shaped zombies in a series of high-stakes shooting ranges in Deadland Polygon VR, and it's 50% off. But if you're a PlayStation Plus member, you save 20% more, making it 70% off total. Only 22 people have rated this 2.27 out of 5 stars, with 63% of the audience giving this 1 or 2 stars, and the rest is evenly mixed here. The game touts to use real-life shooting mechanics to aim, reload, and fire with accuracy while collecting power-ups to enhance your arsenal. Whether you're facing a zombie onslaught in endless mode or racing against time in timed mode, each mission brings unique challenges. But from everything I'm seeing and hearing, every other game I've played with the target mode, whether it's Pavlov, Zombieland, Gun Club VR, Resident Evil, like every game with the targeting range looks better than this game. I personally have not played this, so I can't speak to this from experience, but as you're seeing here, this gameplay footage is from Cussman's YouTube channel, so I highly recommend you check it out if you want to know more about this game. Walkabout Mini Golf Hole-in-One Winter 2024 Edition add-on pack features almost all the DLC, and it's 20% off. However, this is only a DLC pack and does not include that base game. But don't forget, if you are a PlayStation Plus Premium member, you do have the base game in your catalog for free. And here's a quick look at all of the courses included in this bundle. 8-bit layer. Holiday Hideaway. Mars Gardens. Atlantis. El Dorado. Temple of Zerzura. Shangri-La. Gardens of Babylon. Nest. Jim Henson's Labyrinth. Jules Verne's Around the World in 80 Days. Sweetopia. Elfheim, land of the elves. Lacer Lair. Upside Town. Widow's Walkabout. Jules Verne's Journey to the Center of the Earth. Venice. Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Ice Lair. Meow Wolf. Wallace and Gromit.
Challenge, you've come to the right place. Come in and play around. Quite amazing. Golf in West Wallaby Street? Crazy. Gromit, where did I put me butter?
And that is all of the games and DLC on sale until January 29th. If you guys like the video today or any of the sales videos that I produce, please click that like button. And if you love what I'm doing with the channel, please subscribe to it. And for all of you that have subscribed to my channel, thank you so much. I super appreciate it. Until the next one.